All right, Tennessee, Kentucky, a little SEC matchup here. Next up, it is Tennessee, 3.5-point road favorites, 51.5 the total. Man, Tennessee, they had that game for well into the third quarter, and then all of a sudden they didn't have it. And Alabama comes roaring back last week with a big second half performance and takes care of it. And not only comes back to win the game, but if you laid the 8.5, 9 with Alabama, they cover the number as well. So a terrific comeback victory for the Crimson Tide, and for Tennessee, it's what might have been. And it was a game of two halves for Joe Milton in particular. Joe Milton played the best half of football maybe I've ever seen him play, quite honestly, in the first half against Alabama last week. He's zinging the football left and right. I think he only had 1 or 2 incomplete passes. Then it was a different Joe Milton in the second half, and the offense bogged down. Alabama made their adjustments. The offense started to come to life. Jalen Milroe started to make some plays through the air to the likes of Isaiah Bond and Jermaine Burton and company. And then Jace McClellan got going running the football in the second half for Alabama, and that was all she wrote against Tennessee, turning that game around completely. Now we'll see if Tennessee can bounce back. We've seen in these situations before, last year in particular, Tennessee had a big loss, and then all of a sudden they kind of things came unglued for them a little bit. Can they get it back on track here against Kentucky is the big question going into this game. Kentucky's off a bye week, but man, Kentucky needed the bye week. 2 hideous games in a row. The Georgia game, 51-13. And then I thought they'd bounce back against Missouri, and they were horrendous, 38-21. They had a good start, and then Missouri runs a trick play, a fake punt, and scores off it. And from that point on, Kentucky looked dead. It's like that one play totally zapped their momentum and totally deflated them in that game. So we'll see how this one plays out here. But, we see Kentucky coming back down to earth. Can the bye week pick them back up again? If I had to at 3.5, I'd lean Kentucky. But I don't know. This team, a little worried about I'm worried about both of these teams and their psyche, quite honestly, coming into this game. But at least Kentucky's off a bye. They're at home. They're getting 3.5. I do kind of lean in that direction with the Vols, or not with the Vols, with the Wildcats in this one. What do you think here, C-Mac?
Yeah, that was tough for Tennessee. You hit it there, Taylor. 2 halves. Just gave it up late. And this is another one now, back on the road at Kentucky. They've kind of owned this rivalry going back through it. They've won 8 of 10. Obviously, last year they beat them up. The year before that, they lost by 3, Kentucky. I think that's what this game is for them. You mentioned it. Kentucky starts 5-0, and then it's like every year, and they've lost a few. I think the bye helps them out, and being at home. I think you maybe look at them early, even too. I'm kind of looking at the full game, 3.5 of Kentucky first half. I think they come out roaring. They got to run the football. Leary, though, we know what he is. It just is what it is. He's not a great quarterback. So I think this game's tight a little bit. I'm leaning to Kentucky in this game, and I'd lean under. But these defenses at times haven't been great. They've looked really good, and they've given up some yards. So I'm gonna get into this total a little bit.
Nutflush Allen, our guy in the chats here, asking how does this game not go over the total? Well, Kentucky's gone over in 4 straight games, 4 straight Kentucky.
Yeah, the defense is falling off.
Yep, they have. Their defense this is not the same Kentucky defense. Yet their offense, I actually think, is a little bit better thanks to the veteran quarterback, Devin Leary, and they've got a good run game, obviously, a very good run game. So their offense is better, combining with their defense not being the same. Ray Davis is an outstanding running back for them. No question about that. And so you're right. This total could get there as far as over is concerned. Weather doesn't look that bad as of right now for Lexington, Kentucky on Saturday.